Let's go to Dan from Illinois. Dan from Illinois, welcome to the David Pakman Show. What's on your mind today?
Hi, David. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, I'm so glad you picked me. Before I get to my question, I wanted to congratulate you on having such an excellent show. I have been a viewer for a couple of years now, and I think the reason why I've become a daily viewer of yours is because the quality of what you do and the degree to which you think through and present things is so above and beyond what is out there.
Wow.
Um,
Well, I
I just don't
appreciate
hear
that.
that. Yes, and specifically, if I could say, I think the thing that's most valuable to me is when you do very specific breakdowns that delve into issues very deeply. A lot of what's out there in the media, especially corporate media, it doesn't really help people understand complex issues, and I
Hmm.
love what you do.
Well, I
So if it
appreciate
were up
that
to
very
me,
much,
I
Dan. Thank you.
absolutely encourage you to continue on that. And so that being said, the question that I have is about something that you and I agree on
Okay.
that you've talked about, but I haven't heard you go more in depth. And so you've talked about the importance of media literacy.
Yes.
And I would love to hear your thoughts on, I guess, both ways. Like if you could wave a magic wand, how would you approach media literacy, but also maybe like what would fit into reality? Because I mean, I could speak to that more. I'll let you answer
Well,
just in
as I've
terms of
said
what
before,
what would
I
work.
think that really, you really want to be teaching media literacy as young as people start consuming media. Now, how do you teach a 2-year-old who watches cartoons media literacy? Well, you start to distinguish commercials from the programming, I think, right? I mean, you start very simple. But as a matter of school curriculum, certainly by 6th grade, there should be just, it should be standard that we're teaching media literacy, understanding the difference between news and opinion, understanding the impact of, advertisers, product placement. Just because you saw something on TV or on the internet doesn't mean it's true. What's the difference? All of this basic stuff. The earlier you arm people with the tools needed, the less that they're ever going to fall for Fox News or Newsmax. And it's sort of like a vaccine against disinformation. So I would like to see it just be a standard part of school curriculum starting probably, I used to say 7th grade. Now I'm probably more at like 6th grade, maybe even 5th.
I couldn't agree more. I think that this is actually a core of what is causing many, many issues because it's so easy for anyone to say anything.
Yes.
And just understanding sort of the psychology of media, how it affects people. There's a lot of people using it in nefarious ways, self-serving ways. And from my vantage point, that's sort of feeling like I'm watching things. We're sort of sliding off of a cliff
,100%.
without that sense of how are we going to come back from this. Do you have any voices or books or resources that you've looked to in terms of people who are kind of have expertise in that has informed your sense of like how that could actually be done or how we could actually look to do that?
Not from a policy standpoint. On my book recommendation list on my website, I have tons of books about thinking that I recommend, but none of them are
Mhm.
policy oriented in that way. But I'll look around and see if there are any.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. That answers what I wanted to talk to you about. So
All
I
right,
really
Dan from
appreciate you taking
Illinois,
me.
very much appreciate the call. We're going to take more calls, but let's take a very quick break and then we'll be back. If you're holding on to talk to me, don't hang up because we're going right back to the phones.